Hey, peace and blessings to everyone. Once again, it's your boy, it's your friend, it's the credit doctor, Angelo McCutcheon, coming to you with another video on the credit repair process. Shouting out everybody that's on my Facebook Live and personal page, business page, those of you who'll be coming on my YouTube page, and of course, all of you guys who are coming on my TikTok page. We're streaming to about 4 platforms. Yeah, 4 platforms here because we're going to be talking about all things credit repair. And we're going to be talking about violations, right? We're going to get into a series on what are some violations that you can actually sue a debt collector for. Now, I've done a lot of short reels about it, so I'm gonna be doing videos to expound on that and to talk a little bit more about that. So definitely, if you're watching it on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. So whenever we go live, you'll get the notification. Of course, those of you who are coming on my TikTok, if you like what we're saying, definitely give us some hearts, give us some likes. We're giving out information to help you understand that you do not have to live with bad credit. There are things that you can do about it. And here on the Credit Repair Show with the Credit Doctor, we're going to give you the information that you need. So we're going to be talking about violations. And again, if you're coming out through my Facebook page, in order for you to make comments in the chat room, of course, you guys know that you got to give StreamYard, click on the link where it says StreamYard, so they'll have permission to allow your chat, your comments to be seen by me in the chat room. All right, so definitely do that. Otherwise, I won't be able to see it. It'll only be inside the Facebook page, which I'll have to look at it later. All right. So again, if you have any questions as we go along talking about violations, please shout out your questions, type your questions when it comes to credit repair, how to deal with debt collectors, how to deal with the credit bureaus, how to get student loans removed. I mean, we're going to be talking about violations, but we're going to get into some other topics as well. If you have any questions, we're going to take those too, maybe later on in the program, or if it has to do with violations, we'll take that right off the bat. All right. So what are some violations? And when we talk about violations, we're talking about 2 sets of laws. One is called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Now, these laws govern what the credit bureaus and what the original creditors can do when it comes to putting information on your credit report. All right. Then there's the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. And that lets consumers know what debt collectors can do and what they can't do when it comes to putting information on your credit report. And of course, one of the biggest laws that's in there states that whatever, and I'm just going to paraphrase it, all right? It basically says that whatever goes on your credit report, it has to be 100% accurate. Whatever goes on your credit report, it has to be 100% accurate. If it's not 100% accurate, it either has to be fixed or it has to be deleted from your credit report. Now, when we talk about 100% accurate, we're talking about the data that the account was open, the date that it was closed, the balance, the credit limit, the first time it went into delinquents, when it was charged off, what the balances are. I mean, everything about that account has to be 100% accurate. And the reason why the government put that in there is because when they did a overall study of the industry, they found out, listen to this, they found out that 70% of things found on people's credit report or in people's credit report were errors. And thank you, Barbara, for sharing the video. Appreciate that. I need everybody to hit that like button, hit that share button. All right. YouTube, share it. TikTok, I need you guys to share the video because this is some great information we're going to pass on that many people are going to need or use when it comes to them cleaning up their credit. Right. So they found out that 70% of things found on people's credit report are errors. So things that are unverifiable or incomplete or inaccurate. And this information has been hurting the consumer for years. In particular, when they go out and try to purchase a home or a new car, or they try to get a loan and they have these errors on their credit report that allows them to either get denied, or based on those errors, sometimes they get a high interest rate just because of that. Now we're talking about errors, inaccurate information. If it's accurate, that's nothing you can do about it. But when you have inaccurate information that's hurting you from getting or attaining your goals in life, then that's what the government is talking about. And they found out that 70% of things found on people's credit report, or all credit reports, have some type of error in it. It could be in the spelling of your name. It could be in addresses that you never lived at, telephone numbers you never had, jobs you never worked at, credit cards you never got, or balances. They say you owe. They might say you owe $5,000, but you only owe $4,990, something like that. But that's anytime they report inaccurate information, it hurts the consumer. It hurts you and me, the consumer. And if that's the case, we need to find out what are those inaccuracies and how do we deal with them? How do we get those inaccurate informations removed? And now, again, as I said before, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act basically governs what we're going to talk about tonight, what debt collectors can do and what they can't do when it comes to cleaning up, comes to reporting information on your credit report, or sending you collection letters, or calling your home, your cell phone, trying to get you to, harass you to pay a debt that you may not owe. And so a lot of times they go around and the law says they can't do something, but they'll do it anyway. And you know why they'll do it? Because they believe that you do not know what your rights are. And and in part that is true, because about 90% of the consumers don't know that they have certain rights that protects them from debt collectors who try to violate your rights, the credit bureaus who put information on your credit report that shouldn't be there, or omit things that should be there, or the original creditor who reports information about you to the credit bureaus that's inaccurate or incomplete, or just unverifiable. Any one of those three things there. And in a credit world where so many people are trying to get their credit together, where so many people are trying to get their credit right, and every year there's a whole group of people that says, hey, one of my resolutions, used to be exercising and losing weight and going to the gym, but now they've added this new year, I'm getting my credit together. I'm getting my credit right. And I tell you, every year around, I would say about February, March, April, probably 3 months into the new year is when I get my highest clients, because they're all starting out with hey, I want to get my credit right this year. I plan on buying a home. I plan on buying a car. I want to get this. I want to get a loan for my business. And they know how important credit is. And so in order to get those things or to accomplish those things, they need to know, how can I fix this credit? How can I get these negative things off my credit report? How can I build positive things on my credit report? And that's basically what we are about. So my company, the Faithful Credit Group, we have been helping people for over 10 years, 10, maybe 15 years now, helping people repair their credit. We've done a lot of workshops. We've done consultations. We've done seminars. We've done a whole lot. Educating people over the same process of how they can get that credit right. And so we continue now with the social media platforms that we have now. We have our podcast. If a lot of you guys have not listened to my podcast, please, you can listen to it on iTunes. You can listen to it on Spotify, any platform where podcasts are available. Just look up The Credit Repair Show. The Credit Repair Show. We've got about 51 episodes already in, over 10,000. We're about close to 10,000 downloads already. And we only been doing the podcast for a year, a little over a year now. So that tells me that a lot of people are interested when it comes to how to clean up their credit, how to repair their credit. And so this is information I believe that, and again, if you guys like what we're saying, give us some thumbs up, give us some hearts. TikTok, give us some likes, whatever the case may be. YouTube, whatever you do it. All right. Share, hit the share button. Because I believe if you take this information, and again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a consumer lawyer, so I don't give out legal advice. All the information that I'm going to be giving you in any one of my podcasts or Facebook Lives is for educational purposes only. If you need legal advice on certain matters, then I have to advise you to see a consumer lawyer if you need legal advice. But we're going to drop information that at least you can start and build on and get more information and add to it so you can start that process of cleaning up your credit. And of course, if you say, hey, this is a lot for me to do, how can I hire your services? Then definitely reach out to me. We'll give you a free over the phone consultation, go over your credit reports, let you know exactly what we do. And if you like that, we could discuss how you can hire us to clean up your credit. You can hit me. If you watch on Facebook, just message me. YouTube, you can email me. My email, is in the description of all my videos. TikTok, you can hit me. You can see my profile. You always see my email. You can hit me up there and just say, hey, I want a free consultation. I want more free information about how to clean up your credit. And we'll be glad to work with you and get those things together. All right. So again, we're talking about violations. Now, let's get to the first. I don't know how many we're going to do tonight, maybe 1, 2, I'm not sure. But we'll be doing this for the next few lives. We'll be talking about violations. Now, on the last video we did, we talked about, the new rules coming out concerning medical debts. Please go back and watch that video. New rules and new changes are coming in July of this year concerning medical debts being reported on your credit report. So check that out. But when we talk about violations, one of the violations is that a debt collector, a person or company that buys your debt, cannot add interest to your debt, or the debt they claim you owe. Let me put it to it like that. They cannot add interest to any debt that they purchase. If they do, it is a violation, and that's one of the things that you can actually sue a debt collector for. So, for an example, if you had a debt with, let's say, Verizon, and Verizon said, "Hey, you owe us $1,000 for whatever reason, phone, cable, whatever." They say you owe us $1,000, and they try to collect it. And for just some reason, they don't get the money from you. And so what they do is they put it into collections, they put it on your credit report, and then most likely they'll sell your debt in some cases. And this can go for any credit. I'm just using Verizon as an example. So then they'll sell your debt to a debt collector. So let's say somebody like Portfolio Recovery or LV&V or Jefferson Capital, I'm sure you guys are familiar with those names, some of those names. But they'll sell that debt, and let's say, okay, let me go back because we're talking about medical debts. So let me go back. Let's throw Verizon out. Let's not use them. So let's say a doctor or hospital sends you a debt and say you owe a balance of whatever, $1,000. And they try to collect it from you, and they don't get it. So they put it into collections. And now they're going to sell that medical debt that they say you owe to a debt buyer or a debt collector. Now, first of all, they're going to sell that $1,000 debt for pennies on a dollar. So they may sell it for like $100 to the debt buyer. The debt buyer might buy that $1,000 debt for $100 or less. And then once they purchase it down, they're going to go after you for the whole $1,000. You see how they make money there? You see how being a debt collector in that industry is a big thing, right? Because they can buy low, buy cheap, go after you. If you pay the whole thing, they just made $900. Now, once they buy that medical debt, and we're talking about the medical debts here, once they buy that medical debt, and that may be months before they come to you about it, maybe months before they come to you about it, but then one day you get a collection letter. And in that collection letter, it says you owe them, that they now own this debt. This is basically gonna say they have this debt that they say you owe, and now it's $1,250. Like, what? $1,250. Wait a minute, I remember this. You may say, I remember this medical debt. It was $1,000 when they was first coming after me. Why is it $1,250? It's because the debt buyer is now trying to sneak in some interest on that debt, so you can pay even more, and they make even more money. Now, once you establish, and all you got to do is establish that, hey, go back to the original creditor, the hospital, the doctor's office, and say, hey, how much was that debt you guys said I owe? They can pull up the rec, say it was $1,000. And then you can go to the debt buyer and say, hey, this is only $1,000. Why, you say it's $1,250? And if they say, hey, there's interest that's been added to this account, now they basically violated your rights, and now you can sue them for adding interest to a medical debt. And that's only for medical debts, there. And there's some other debts too that they can't add interest to, but we're gonna keep it simple. And this happens all the time, not in every case, but in a lot of cases. And you, the consumer, sometimes just want to get this debt out the way. Okay, I'm just gonna pay it. Can I do a payment plan? Thank you, Teresa, for sharing the video. And then they set you up for a payment plan, and you pay it, and now you're paying a debt that you really should not be paying, just because, number one, they violated your rights by adding interest fees to a medical debt that they are not supposed to do. So what is my recommendation when you see that? See, when you don't know, you don't know. But once you do know, now that can change the game, because you know why? That can put the power back in your hands. So what do you do when you see something like that? You contact a consumer lawyer. A consumer lawyer is a lawyer that deals in consumer debt, which could be any type of credit card, car payment, medical, revolving installment. You get a consumer lawyer. Now, I recommend, sometimes people try to get a personal injury lawyer, and they're not really versed in consumer law. And they may give you, I've had clients tell me, and this is why I'm saying it, because they don't know, they may just recommend that you pay the debt. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to pay the debt. So you want to make sure you seek out a consumer lawyer. Don't get a divorce lawyer. Don't get a personal injury lawyer. Don't get a bankruptcy lawyer. Get a consumer lawyer. And if you feel that you're in that and you don't have a consumer lawyer, again, reach out to the Faithful Credit Group. Reach out to my company, and we have a whole law firm that actually works with our company, and we can provide that information to them and see how they can pursue in getting a lawsuit against whoever that debt collector is that violated your rights. See, it's about taking matters back into your hands. It's about taking matters back into your hands so you can stop being afraid of debt collectors, stop being afraid of these phone calls, because once you know the right thing to do, it changes the game, you guys. It changes the game. Can I get some more hearts? Can I get some more thumbs up? Listen, the more you guys heart the video, TikTok, the more you guys give me those likes and stuff like that, TikTok would expand the viewership to more people. Facebook would expand this video to more people when you guys send up those hearts and send up those thumbs up. And YouTube, when you like the video, when you just hit the like button, if I get a lot of likes on YouTube, they will make sure this video goes out to more people. And guess what? More people will get this information, and it will change the game for them too. So again, yes, our number one violation or first violation that we're dealing with tonight is the fact that a debt buyer, debt collector cannot add any interest to any medical bills that they purchase. They can't add no interest, no fees to that. If they do, it's a violation of your rights. And you can actually sue them. So when you sue them, what are we looking at? You can look at when you file a lawsuit, it could be up, you can win up to well, in most cases, it may be up to $1,000 per violation. A lot of times they'll settle for $1,000. It could be as low as 300, 400, 500, up to 1,000. But if they really do something wrong, it can go beyond 1,000 to 2,000, 3,000. And your consumer lawyer can negotiate that they no longer go after you for the debt as well, that the debt is totally forgiven. That's the difference. That's the difference. So understanding your rights, understanding what creditors can do and what they can't do, what debt collectors can do and what they can't do, understanding that the power is actually in your hand, it will change the game for you. And now you don't have to change your number every 6 months because these debt collectors are calling you. Once you learn what to do, what not to do, how to deal with them, guess what? You can have them running from you. And I think I just rhymed that. I think I need some hearts, some thumbs up just for rhyming. So even if you're watching this on a replay, understand, hit that like button, hit that share button. Because our goal is to help you understand that you don't have to live with bad credit. There is something you can do about it. Now, fixing your credit is not an overnight thing, right? You didn't mess it up overnight, so you're not going to fix it overnight. It takes time. And anybody that tells you that they can clean up your credit like in a day, in 30 days or whatever, be careful. Be careful. Be careful, because 90% of the time they may be doing something illegal that will come back and hurt you, not them, because they'll be long gone with your money, but it'll come back and hurt you. Be careful of those ones that say, hey, we can do a whole credit sweep and clean it all up real quick. I'm telling you, I've been in this game for over 15 years. I've seen people who were hurt by people who promised that they can clean them up in 30 days or this and that, and it looked like they did it, but then the stuff came back because they didn't do it the right way. So be careful. We'll talk about that on another live. So again, we want you to understand, number one, a debt buyer cannot add fees to a medical debt that they purchase. All right. And so, and the next thing let's talk about when we talk about debt buyers in violation. The law, Fair Credit Reporting Act, and the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act says that a debt, and I probably should have brought my book to read that, but a debt collector without the absence of knowledge, and we'll get into that, without the absence of knowledge, can call your house or call your cell phone anywhere between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m., wherever your local standard time is. All right. So whether you live in California or you live in Midwest or you live on the East Coast, it has to be on that time. So it has to be between, they can call without the absence of knowledge, they can call you between 8 a.m. and before 9 p.m. If they call you before that, before 8 a.m., or if they call you after 9 p.m., it's a violation. And you can sue them. The very first time they do that, you can start looking to file a lawsuit against them. Or you could just say, hey, just save the information and let them do it 3 or 4 or 5 times. The more they do it, the bigger your reward going to be when you sue them. Because they know the law. See, debt collectors, debt buyers, they know the law. So when they break it, they know they're doing it on purpose. They know, and the judges know that when they're found guilty for breaking the law, they know they do it on purpose. That's why a lot of times when you get a consumer lawyer and you file a lawsuit, a lot of times they'll just settle. I will pay your client $1,000, $500, and we won't go after the debt anymore. You got us. You got us. But the fact of the matter is, they can afford to do that because the amount of people that they actually scare comes up in the millions. And so if they're making millions a year just by breaking the law, violating your rights, getting you to pay something, a debt that you may not owe, or going about it illegally, they make so much money doing that. So a lot of times they don't mind if they get caught and have to pay it out. So if they make $30,000 and they get caught one time, they got to pay out $1,000 or $2,000. Hey, they don't mind that. They still got $28,000 in their pocket. But the point of the matter is, get your money. You, the consumer, if they're willing to do that, get your money from them. Get your money from them. So again, remember, a debt buyer, debt collector, let's just say a debt collector cannot, this is another violation, cannot call you before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m., whatever your standard time is, whatever, whether you're on the West Coast, East Coast, or Midwest. Anything outside of those times, they have violated your rights. And guess what? I don't think there is, in a 4 going on 5 years now that I've been working with attorneys, I think we've covered every violation that's in the in the book. Every violation. We've sued them for almost everything that the law says that they're not supposed to do, because they keep on doing it. They keep on violating your rights. And why it's not all of them that does it, but it's enough of them that the government has to actually put this in the law so that they can keep from doing this. And so we got to stop letting debt collectors get away with things like this. And it's time that we start suing them. It's time that we start putting it to, hey, making them run. So again, keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Number one, a debt collector cannot add interest to a medical debt that they purchase. It's a violation if they do. And number two, there's no particular order, but number two, a debt collector can only call you without the absence of knowledge. We're going to get into that. Without the absence of knowledge, can only call you between 8 a.m. and 9, or after 8 a.m. and before 9 p.m. Anytime outside those parameters, that's a violation of your rights. Now, you hear me say the word without the absence of knowledge. What do I mean by without the absence of knowledge? So the law says, and I'm just going to paraphrase, I'm not going to use lawyer, textbook language. It's confusing enough, right, when you read it. But basically it says that if you tell a debt collector, if a debt collector calls you, and you tell a debt collector, listen, the best time for you to call me is between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. I'm just using that as an example. You can give any time you want. But if you tell them 1 p.m. and 2 p.m., going forward, that would be the only time a debt collector can call you. Now, whether you're home or not, that's a different story. But that would be the only time. So once you tell them when the best time to call you, and I know most people don't even want to do that, but when you want to tell them, so this way it keeps them from calling you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. And we're going to get into violations about that too. So you can tell them, the law says, if you tell them the best time for you to call me is between 8 and 9 a.m. or 3 to 4 p.m. Once you tell them that, and I always tell my clients, tell them that and document that. that's what you told them. Write it down. So if they violate it, that's a lawsuit. So once you tell them what's the best time to reach you, that's the only time they can call you. Now, without that absence of knowledge, without you telling them that, now you understand why the law says if you don't give them a certain time, then they can call you anywhere between 8 a.m. and before 9 p.m. Anytime outside that parameter is a violation. So this is what we want you guys to understand. This is what we want you guys to know when it comes to cleaning up your credit, that you do have rights. And if you don't exercise those rights, it's not that you'll lose them, but you don't get the benefits of that, because a debt buyer, debt collectors, some of them, not all of them, but most of them will violate your rights, step all over your rights. And if they can get away with it, they will do it. If they can call you at 9:15 and you don't say nothing about it, they'll keep doing it. If they can call you at 7:30 in the morning and you let them get away with that, they'll keep doing it. If they can add interest to a medical debt that they brought, that they say you owe them, if they can add interest fees and you don't say nothing about it, they'll keep doing it. But you know, this old saying from the Bible, as for me and my house, not only are we going to serve the Lord, but we're going to stop them debt collectors from violating our rights. That's for sure. They're not going to get away with it. Not in our house. And you should be the same way. And that's why we're dropping these gems, this knowledge, so you can get it, so you can understand it, so it can help you along the way. Because they will try you. They will try you. A debt collector will try you now. Until they see that you know what your rights are, they'll try you. And that's why we're giving you the game. That's why we're giving you this information. That's why we're sharing this with you. And that's why, make sure, again, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get it when every time we go live, you can get the notification. You're on Facebook, make sure you join our group, our page. Hit the notification so whenever we do go live, you'll get that as well. TikTok, make sure you follow me. Hit the follow button so whenever we go live, you get that notification, because we're going to be going live sharing a lot of information. And right now we're doing a series on violations that debt collectors do, in which you can actually file a lawsuit against them and get money back and get that information deleted from your credit report if it's on there. So make sure you follow us. All right, so we want to drop those two nuggets there. Remember, a debt collector, and I can't say it enough because I see new people popping in and out. A debt collector cannot add fees to any medical debts that they purchase and they say you owe. If they add any fees, that's a violation of your rights and you can sue them. Number two, a debt buyer, debt collector, without the absence of knowledge, can only call you between 8 a.m. and after 8 a.m. and before 9 p.m., whatever your local standard time is. Anytime outside those parameters, you can file a lawsuit. And listen, my company has been working with consumer lawyers for over the last 5 years, and we have sued, or our attorneys have sued. Oh man, let me put it to you this way: we have had debt collectors pay out over 170, and I'm give you a round figure because I don't know the exact number, but over $170,000 to our clients. So yes, lawsuits there. It's there. You can actually do it. It can be done. And so we'll be coming back every other day, hopefully. until we can keep bringing you this information, get you guys to follow us so you can get this information. And then for those of you who are watching this on a live, as a repeat, let me say, as a replay, make sure you hit the share button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. TikTok, make sure you follow us, because it's all about giving out the education. It's all about giving out the education. I had a consultation today with an individual consumer who was talking about how, it's embarrassing, right? They felt that it's embarrassing that they have to tell somebody they need their credit fixed. It is not embarrassing whatsoever. It's actually the journey to restoration. Because if you stay embarrassed, you'll never start that journey of cleaning up your credit, because you'll be too embarrassed. Listen, with me, I started out, Casey Mitchell, thank you for sharing the video. I started out over 10 years ago, and my scores was in the low 400. People have heard me share my testimony many a time. My scores was in the low 400, all three of them. And I didn't know what at that time, I didn't know what a credit score was, and I didn't know what a credit reports was. This is over 15 years now. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that I had to fix this because I was getting denied for everything I tried to apply for. And they kept telling me it had something to do with what's on your credit report, which I had no idea what a credit report was. But once I was able to pull that knowledge together, begin to see the information that was being reported on my credit report, I was embarrassed to the point where I said, I'm going to do something about this. Not embarrassed to the point where I just didn't want nobody to know. No, I was embarrassed to the point where I had to do something about that. And I started my journey on how to clean up my credit. And that process took me, because I was just starting out, took me 2 years, but close to 2 years. And I was able to take my scores from the low 400 to the 800 plus. Cleaning up, I had about 15 to 18 negative things on all three of my credit reports, but got them all deleted in that 2-year period. And I didn't have to pay not one debt that was on my credit report. I didn't pay not one bill that was on there. I basically used what the law said were my rights. And I saw a lot of times they was being violated, and inaccurate information was being reported on me and things like that. And I was able to use that. And since then, I have been going around helping people clean up their credit. And I've been finding in a lot of cases the same thing: inaccurate information on people's credit report, unverifiable information, or incomplete information, violations that's sitting on people's credit report. All this stuff, all this information. And so for the last, 10 plus years, I have been just getting out this information. We've helped hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people by now, clean up their credit. But the information that we've been able to share, especially on social media now, before social media, we was doing a lot of workshops and seminars, educating people on that. And now social media is here. We're using the platforms to get the same information out to help the same people. And now working with attorneys the last 5 years, it is what it is. So we've got to stop being afraid or embarrassed to the point where we don't want nobody to know we got bad credit. Of course, we're not going to say, hey, I got bad credit. But the fact that we hide it to the point that we don't even fix it, because if we start fixing it, we think people are going to find out we got bad credit. You better stop that and start fixing it so you can get that home at a low interest rate. You can get that new car at a low interest rate. I mean, when I had bad credit, and we're going to say this, and we're going to get ready to close. When I had bad credit, I remember one time being in a car dealer shop for like 6-7 hours trying to get a loan to finance a car. But, we kept that car for many years, and now the last time we was at a car dealer, what, an hour, 2 hours at most? Maybe less than that, sort of. Right? Because when you got good credit, it makes a difference. Having bad credit and being in a car dealership for 6 hours, 6-7 hours, and having good credit and being in a car dealer for an hour or so, or hour and a half, big difference. Big difference. So we want to give you the information. We want to help you get started on that journey. If you're looking for a free consultation, please hit me up. You can inbox me. You can email me at creditrepair64@gmail.com. Just say I would like a free credit report consultation. We'll do it over the phone, but it's free. Maybe 30 minutes of your time we may need. But it's up to you. I can't make you do it. You have to make that call. You have to make that call. I got enough clients that I'm working with now, but if you make that call, we'll make room for you as well. You do not have to live with bad credit. People, you do not have to live with bad credit. You didn't mess it up overnight. You ain't gonna fix it overnight. But if you start that journey and know what it is to have good credit, know what it is to know what your rights are, it makes a difference, people. It makes a difference. So this is the credit doctor, Angelo McCutcheon, bringing you the information you need so you can understand that you don't have to live with bad credit. Remember, as we close this out, we tell everybody, stay blessed. Whatever you do, stay blessed. But what's even more important is that you are a blessing. And with that, we say, have a blessed